Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Esports Canada broadcast. Today we are continuing the Toronto Hearthstone Open Tournament. We are looking at Rev Versailles. This is a best of three in which they bring two heroes. You lose a game with that hero, he is eliminated from the match, and we continue on. Let me introduce myself. My name is Galleon, and casting with me today, as always, BoxerXIII.
Hey, yeah, my name's Boxer. Game's actually starting right now. So yeah, the last game was really awesome. Rev did some really cool plays there towards the end of the game, always staying above death life total there. We got the mulligans going.
Fairly straightforward, but look at that. Feral Spirits is the keep for our Shaman, and our Warlock player, he's got a Silence up, he's got a Leroy Jenkins, and whoa, okay.
Yeah, we got Yugi on the screen there.
A little bit of overlay fun. Quick pass on turn one. Let's quickly comment on game one, because game one really was exciting, and I hope that you guys checked the video if you haven't seen it already. Went on for a little long. We had both players in near lethal range. We had some very exciting plays near the end. It was a really, really tight, exciting game. But here we've got a loot hoarder, very standard opening play. Get a little bit of board presence, and of course that death rattle, making sure that it's almost impossible to lose card advantage by playing him. And here we go.
Yeah, just waiting for the camera to switch. Okay. All right, so Rev's thinking about life tapping here. It's probably the right play. Oh, he could owl down the loot hoarder, but I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a waste. Just leave it on the board, take a little bit of damage. Taking the damage isn't too bad when you got the Molten Giant in hand, because, I mean, you got to be damaged to be able to play him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you're not too concerned about the potentials of the shaman not dropping out cards that you need to silence quite so hard, quite so early. So maybe he's feeling a little more free with it. Feral Spirit seems like an obvious play at this point, although it does overload him for next turn. But that turn 3 Feral Spirits, or even a turn 2, there's just no easy, efficient answer to it. It's just such a powerful opening. And here we go, and there's the trade. No, he's going to go for the damage because he has the taunts, and that makes perfect sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this puts Rev in a little bit of a scary spot here. It's kind of hard to deal with all that board presence.
Yeah, those feral. Honestly, I think that's probably the card more than any other that when I see it played on turn 2 and turn 3, I just sit there and I'm just like, I just have to take a second to process the fact that it's just happened. And here we go. He's throwing a card for half of a card. That Shadow Bolt, and he's just going to end the turn with that.
Yeah, exactly. You said it just right there. I mean, he's already gotten a card off, and he's still got half the card there on the board, and that's strong enough to kill the only creature he has on board. So it's practically a 2-for-1 there.
Gonna just drop a totem. That's the usual follow-up play with that 2 mana. Sitting in a hand that's got some removal. It's got Lightning Storm, it's got Rockbrider Weapon, it's got Hex. He's actually in this interesting place where he wants the Warlock to play things into him because he wants to remove it. He's not in a situation where he has... I mean, there's the Azure Drake for turn 5, but he's not sitting on a bunch of minions or a bunch of things that he throws out himself. He wants to be reactive, and the Warlock actually wants to life tap, wants to build up this big card bank and wait out till the later turns to start playing out his giants. So a little bit of the two styles clashing at the moment, and we'll see who plays it out better. What's your play?
I mean, Rev didn't really have much of an option here. He doesn't want to play a naked Defender of Argus, so tapping was really his only option.
Yeah, the Defender of Argus with the potential of actually killing things on the board, but I mean, you're right. You want to get those taunts out, potentially to stabilize later on, and I mean, again, even if he plays the Sun Fury, I mean, what's going to happen? This Shaman's just going to attack him to the face. I mean, what else would he do?
Yeah, exactly. The Shaman can attack his face and then just heal up the Feral, so then the Sun Fury can't even take down the taunt at that point.
And look at this, even more removal. This hand, Shaman is not scared of anything that Warlock could drop right now, and I think he's just gonna... No, he's gonna Rockbrider Weapon to take out the card 1-for-1, gets rid of it. He's not afraid of taking a little damage to his face. This is a fine play. And I'm just going to keep putting that pressure onto that Warlock. Now, again, bringing him down on health does bring the potential of those Molten Giants coming out sooner, but not a concern. You got to keep the pressure on this Warlock. You got to get the damage into these control decks before they get to stabilize and start hitting their big cards at higher manas.
Exactly, you're perfectly right. I'm a little confused why Zeiss didn't really play the Azura Drake there. He had the mana for it, and he would have drawn a card. I feel like that would have been a better play. But I guess maybe he doesn't want to threaten too much damage. But I feel like that's what you want to do. You want to get enough damage on the board so you can kill the Warlock in one swing. You don't want to chip away at him and then let him play those Molten Giants for free, basically, right?
Yeah, there you go. And the Twilight Drake seems like the option. I mean, that's going to be what, like a 4-8, a 4-9. I can't even count two.
Yeah, that'll be a 4-8.
8-4-8. So that's a nice strong body. But then the potential of maybe taunting it with the Argus next turn, although we'll see. But I'm not sure that he has too much of another play realistically. I mean, he has potentially 6 mana with the coin. He doesn't want to Siphon Soul anything on the board right now. That's just ugly. And I mean, everything on the board of such low value potentially. And even, well, I mean, again, the life tap allows him to be a little card inefficient, but here we go. Twilight Drake is in play.
It's scary. It's scary for him to play that because he saw an owl already, so he can sort of assume his opponent has a second run, right?
Yeah.
And if the second owl comes down here, he can just take it out with the 1/1.
And you're playing a shaman. I mean, you know he's going to be running 2 hexes because they're basically the best cards in the game. I mean, it's hard to envision a shaman deck that doesn't run at least 2, maybe only 1 hex. It's just the reality of the shaman.
Right. He's gonna want to save those hexes for like bigger threats, though. I feel. Again, I mean, if the Azura Drake was out at this point, then he could be doing some serious damage.
Yeah, you say it right. But then at the same time, I almost feel like Hex, drop the 1/1, and then drop the Flame Tongue Totem, and you've got some pretty good pressure on. And really going to force some kind of AoE removal out of the Warlock. And if he doesn't have that, then you're in a pretty strong place for another couple turns. That would be my feel on this play, but we'll see. He's going to want to play it different, and of course I didn't make it to the winner's final of the tournament, so we'll see if he plays out Totem or how he wants to do this. What would be your approach to this turn here, Boxer?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I kind of don't want a Azura Drake because if he has the Shadow Flame, then you just lose everything.
Yeah, literally everything.
So I guess the Hex play isn't bad. Maybe just making a Totem and attacking and passing.
Just play it slow. Plays a little bit into what the Warlock wants, but you've already got so much board presence that, I mean, like, how many cards can you throw out there and then have potentially a trade, a 1/1 trade? And if you'll just excuse me for a moment.
Yeah, okay, so he's going to play the Totem here. He's probably going to attack the Drake. He can crash both of them into it to... Yeah. We'll have almost nothing on board after that, though. He might just go do the straight-up damage here. 9 damage, bring him down to 11. That wouldn't be bad at all. Basically forcing the Warlock to deal with his board. Okay, yeah, he's doing the trade. That's really good play.
Yeah, you're really going to like the way that Totem, you're able to sort of just trade off a card and then get that bonus onto the next minion that pops right up.
Exactly. And that's what you want to do with these totems. You want to make them valuable. Okay, camera again. Okay, so we're back to Rev here. I really don't know what place he has here. He's got a whole lot of removal, but I mean, Siphon Soul is the one you use on big targets, not these little guys. He's got just enough mana for Sylvanas. Maybe he'll just throw that out there. But I mean, you're throwing a Sylvanas out on a board that's just all totems.
Yeah, I mean, the Flame Tongue would be the only totem you want to see. Ooh, Hellfire pickup.
Wow, that was
There's
the
an
perfect
out. Life tap for the win.
Yeah, just that's the top deck you wanted to see.
Now he is down at 12 health though, so he's starting to get a little bit concerned. But he's got the potential next turn of the Molten Giant and the Defender of Argus. He's got a lot of removal, as you say. But here comes that Twilight Drake, and Twilight Drake draws another Twilight Drake. We're just going to see a follow-up with a Totem. So, 4 damage out on the board, 12 damage, seeing the 4 damage. He's a little scared. I mean, there's a possibility Shaman's running Bloodlust, which could be lethal, but we'll see what comes out.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny because the Shaman has all his best removal cards in his hand, and the board is just clean. And, I mean, he doesn't have too many threats to play himself. But we're going to see what Rev is going to do here. He's thinking about Farseer.
Bringing that health back up, it feels so good, because at 12 he knows what kind of danger he is, and he knows that it's hard to life tab as well. Not that he needs more cards at this particular moment, but you always want to be seeing more options in your hand.
Well, the thing is, you kind of want to play the Molten Giant before you play the Farseer, because now he's going to keep the Molten Giant back.
So clearly this turn he's not going to be playing that Molten Giant, and
just Defender up.
Huh?
He could have Defendered up the Molten Giant. It's just he'd have less health.
Potential fear of a Black Knight or something like that. But I mean, yeah, I think that might have been the better play just to really get a strong board presence out, because this 4/4 now trades directly with the 4/4.
Right.
I mean,
I think that's what he's hoping for. I think he's telling his opponent, look, here is my 4/4 with taunt. And I know you want to attack me, so let's trade.
Yeah.
He wants that off the board without
Lightning
too much
Storm
work.
or Lightning Storm. This could be interesting because there's the potential of removing both cards, especially if he throws down. Now it's a guaranteed removal on both cards, and that is in fact the play. There's a nice little 2-for-1 from that Lightning Storm. Not every day you get to have
perfect.
two. Not every day you get to have 2 Azure Drakes out on the board like that. And yeah, I mean, he's got a Fire Elemental in his hand. He's got so much removal. Shaman's feeling very confident considering that health advantage. But again, these Warlock Giant decks, I mean, they can stabilize. And if they stabilize hard. But still, so much removal in the Shaman's hand. I got to feel that Zev is feeling really comfortable at this moment.
Yeah, Zeiss does feel very comfortable. I mean, he doesn't really know what Rev has, but he feel like he has all the answers. Like any answer that he would draw from his deck, he already has in his hand.
Absolutely. And a quick reminder, because this is a best of 3, he has already faced this deck, and he drew that deck down to something like only 5 cards remaining in the deck. So he's seen what this deck is and the things that are in it. He knows that Leroy, which is an unusual card in the Giants build, is there. He knows he's got a real feel for the deck at this point.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we might see him do that Leroy play again, actually. Just Leroy here, attack directly, and Shadow Flame. Yeah, Shadow Flame it.
And that was actually, going back to game 1, that was a huge play that completely turned the entire game around. And yep, there it is. There it is. That's a 2/4/2, but I mean, again,
he gets the damage. He gets the damage in there, and it's a good use of his mana. Clears the board, and he can still play the Molten Giant here.
No, exactly. It's not the most card efficient trade, even though it looks like it's going to be. It's actually almost card inefficient. But I mean, again, he's got those life taps, and he sets himself in a strong position, which he needs to be. He needs to start blowing resources that isn't health, because he's starting to run out of that.
Exactly. We're probably definitely going to see the Hex here, and probably just the Harvest Golem.
Feral Spirits is an option just to bring those bodies up, especially after you Hex, although it does leave a bit of the overload.
That's true, and if he does just Hex and Fire Elemental it down, then he's actually threatening lethal.
Fire Elemental to the face, you think? The extra 3 damage? I mean, you want to, because I hate the way.
No, because I mean, your opponent's on 8 mana here, so Jiraxxus could be incoming, right? You don't want to waste.
Yeah, but I mean, there isn't actually with
damage.
the overload. There isn't the mana for the Fire Elemental this turn, which is why I think we'll see probably the Feral Spirits.
Oh, true.
I mean, is this going to totem? I think Feral Spirits is a better play, even though it leaves him overloaded. But it leaves him enough mana to play most of what he's going to want to do next turn. don't
I
know.
don't know. I feel like it's getting to end game, and you kind of want your mana available.
Yeah,
So I
well
feel
said.
like Harvest Golem would be better, and that's what he chose.
Well said. Well said.
Oh wow, and he
Oh,
does get the turn 9 Jiraxis. That's amazing.
wow! Look at that, Draxus. Some Siphon Souls for removal and health return. You've got a Sylvanas. It's got the potential to life tap. I mean,
Yeah, he's thinking just life tap throw Sylvanas, get the extra card out.
a silence on the Harvest Golem. Is that something you even do this late? No, it can't be. You got to save that silence for something more valuable.
He wants to get the damage out there.
Yeah. There we go. We've got that, we've got the little frog protecting us from the 2 damage, and, well, so now we see. Playing that, and the thing that Sylvanas does is it changes the decision tree about playing this fire elemental. It is not entirely safe to just throw him out there and use him as that threat, the high damage and the 3 damage straight off on that battle cry. But again,
He's
obviously...
short 1 mana of lethal here.
It's really, really tight. The Hex again on the Sylvanas? I mean, then you're done on Hex.
Oh no, he does have lethal.
Oh my goodness. Please
Harvest
explain.
Golem into the frog, fire elemental directly, and then just rock biter and lightning bolt. That's game.
There you go. Now, does he catch the lethal? Because he's thinking, and I didn't see it immediately either. I was tunnel visioned into dealing with
The
the
lightning storm. That's where my first. That's where my eyes went at first.
right.
But then I'm like, 9, 3, 6, 9, 9, 9. Ah, okay, we got this. Let's hope he sees it. I mean, he does have a lot of time to think.
Again, this is tournament mode, so there isn't the timer that we're not going to see a rope pop up here and count him down. Oh, what's he gonna do? Don't play it! Don't! Oh, and he plays it.
Oh, that's. I mean, I feel he probably wants to deal with the Sylvanas, so he's thinking, oh, I can kill it, and then everything's good, and he doesn't get it off.
In the same position that I was, where he's just so tunnel visioned into dealing with what's on the board. And
yeah, and it's actually very unfortunate because we know his opponent has the Jiraxis, and he's probably going to be playing that.
yeah, and his opponent had that choice. He could have actually played Jiraxis. He had the 9 mana, and he said, "No, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to life tap one more turn. I'm going to set myself up a little bit better for a next turn Jiraxis." It was a greedier play of the two.
Even the Jiraxis here though isn't enough.
No. The thing with Jiraxis is you have that dead turn when you play him. I mean, it's so strong 2, 3, 4 turns later, but...
He's got double Soulfire. I mean, he could Jiraxis and kill off both of the spirits with both of the Soulfires.
Maybe. And then you kill a Siphon Soul and maybe a Soulfire. That's maybe his only play, but... Oh, it's tough to do.
Yeah, Jiraxis.
Everyone else should be opening up that YouTube video and listening to the Jiraxis song, which has to happen every time Jiraxis is played.
I know, I wish they would just implement that into the game.
It should just be a button you click, and then it's just like in-game.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Gotta love those emotes. Here it comes, as you say.
He's got a Soulfire, right? You can't leave. Oh, yes.
Oh.
That's perfect. That's exactly the one you wanted to lose.
Doesn't get any better than that. Disappointingly, you don't get the elemental out this turn, but it just is what it is. You didn't get to use the hero power, and that's the way it had to be.
Yeah, so he's in Rev is in a much better spot now. Kind of feel bad Zeiss missed that lethal there.
Oh yeah, if he loses this. But again, I mean, Jiraxis is right back down to the 13 health, so it's not a whole lot better than he was. That weapon really changing the board condition, and I mean, of course, you just don't get to get out the elemental the same turn you play Jiraxis. But I mean, this is kind of that dead turn where you don't get the board presence out when you play Jiraxis. And there are options here. I mean, look, Ragnaros was the draw. He's too overloaded to play it, but that's a huge potential for lethal damage. I mean, especially this 3 damage to the face is going to bring it so that a Ragnaros finish could happen next turn. And that's going to
Right.
be a 50-50, maybe 1 in 3 chance, because you're not going to see more than 2 minions come out of the Warlock's hand.
Well, it depends what he draws. Okay, that's not the best draw. He definitely has to Siphon Soul the Fire Elemental here. Probably attack with Totem and then just play an Inferno.
Inferno! There we go. There's a Siphon Soul, brings stuff back up to 11. And...
No, I actually don't think Shadow Bolting the 2/1 is a bad play.
yeah!
Well, he needs the 6/6 out.
You just can't not. You can't play Jiraxis and then not hero power for 2-3 turns. Like it's gotta happen the next turn, I feel like. There we go.
He's thinking about the Soulfire here because he knows it's low health.
Yeah, you're doing the math. 9 direct damage from a shaman. Is it gonna happen? And he says not likely, but we know that there is. Oh my god, there's a lightning bolt, there's a rock biter. There's a Ragnaros. Hex and Imp Master not likely to be seen, but we could see a Hex.
Well, I mean, he has to play the Rag. He plays the Rag and Rock Biters his opponent's face, and then that's it. And then either
50-50.
you win the game or you kill the Inferno. Either way, you're going to be in an okay spot.
Yep.
He did see the Siphon Soul, though. He's got to think his opponent has another one. He's probably worried a little bit about that. I don't know. I feel like you just go for the 50-50 at this point.
It sets you up so well. I'm not sure what minions he has remaining in this deck and what outs he has, but I mean, there's still another lightning bolt for damage. What else could he potentially have as lethal outs? I mean, I don't know that he has any charge cards in here. It's hard to say what's going to be remaining in this because this feels like it's very much the control style shaman deck, and it's really filled up with spells and removal and such. Do you think there's some knife jugglers because there is the Imp Master?
I don't know. The Imp Master's kind of weird too. I feel like the Manatee Totem should be there in its place.
Yeah, I don't play Imp Master.
He's not running too many taunts, so he's really thinking about this.
And this is a game deciding turn. I mean, it really can be. And so he's taking his time. He's looking at that. He's doing the math. It's like 6, 6, 8, 11.
Yeah, just gotta play the Rag and hope for the best.
Or not. He is. Oh wow. Okay.
Well, it's the same as putting it on.
Oh no, I know, but I mean, he's not going for the Rag now. You think? Oh no, he's obviously gonna play the Rag after. Yeah, here we go.
Okay, this could be it. And
There is Choo-choo. And so that ties up our best of 3. Fantastic play, a little bit of a coin flip, but that was some very harsh decision making near the end of the game and a miss lethal, but he was able to make up for it. Boxer, any comments on that game?
No, it's pretty standard. Yeah, missing lethal. I mean, that happens to players. Sometimes, you're focused on one thing and you're just fixated on it. You don't really see all your options sometimes. And I guess he was just really focused on trying to get rid of that Sylvanas without giving his opponent any sort of an edge there.
Yeah, it can be such an eyeball drawing card. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this match, and of course, we'll be moving on to the ace match of this best of 3 in our next video. Once again, this is an Esports Canada broadcast, and this was all done at the Microsoft Store in Yorkdale. So give them some props and support. Check out Esports Canada on Facebook and Twitter, and see you next time.